Hey y'all. So I'm kind of done with making my tying videos all nice, I guess, for lack of better terms. All the editing and trying to make everything so perfect. I'm not perfect, so I'm going to quit trying to make my videos perfect. So starting new, just going to show you a quick steelhead fly that is kind of my go-to, or one of my go-tos. Maybe I have 4 or 5 go-tos, but this is one of them, and it's also the way that I tie nearly every steelhead fly that I make from a swung fly standpoint. So I'll just run through this with you. I've done some short versions of it, so I turned my camera the other way. We're doing the wide, long format version, so here it is. So what I have here, you shank guys are gonna hate me, but whatever, I don't care. It's a 1-inch cotter pin from Tractor Supply. 100 of them for $7. So I'm gonna use Lagerton 100 denier white thread. I love the black thread, except for it just really wrecks my bobbins. So I'm sticking with white for this one anyways. All right, I'm just tying the thread on, flipping my vise upside down. By the way, how do you like this? How cool is this Regal vise? You'll see more of this probably in the future. But I'm going to get some dumbbell eyes, lead dumbbell eyes, or in this case, we got large bead chain eyes. I'm just tying those underneath, literally right behind the eye. Just with a few wraps, a few X wraps, and then I'm gonna go underneath them like that a few times, tighten it up, and then go behind. That simple. So now our eyes are going to be on the bottom side of the cotter pin. Everything else tied on top. This next step is 30-pound fire line. It's what I use for just about everything from a swinging standpoint. You know, once in a while, the fire line, once it gets a little more supple, will flip up around and your hook will catch the top of the fly, but honestly, that's maybe 2 or 3 times out of the whole day. Yes, once in a while we miss a steelhead because of that reason. But do I want to tie everything with wire? Not really. So I'm sticking with the fire line. Love it, hate it, love me, hate me, whatever. So I'm putting it through the eye of the cotter pin. And I'm going to go back to about the ball on my vise here. And that's where the hook is going to get attached. So we're just going to do a couple wraps on top here, and then I'm going to flip this underneath, and we'll tie that down really good. Have I ever, once out of all the steelhead we've hooked using this method, have a steelhead pull this out? No, never. I've had the hook come off before if the hook loop doesn't come all the way together, if you get kind of some bad quality hooks. But for the most part, I've never had one issue with this. Okay, so we got that all tied in good. That's where our hook's gonna loop around. Now I'm going to take a black rabbit strip. This is just a standard one, like an 1/8 inch wide, but I do like the micro ones a lot as well. I'm gonna tie this on the top, and I'm going to trim it off so the very tip of it is about the same as where the loop ended. So altogether, this fly is probably in the neighborhood of 3 inches long. Doesn't have to be big. I get asked all the time, how long is that? Because it's hard to tell from videos. So 3 inches, that's your goal there. All right, now I'm going to tie in another rabbit strip as though it were going to be another tail. Bring my thread back to the front, and we're just going to wrap this around like it's a hackle feather. All I'm doing here is just building up a little bit of bulk, and it's not a bunch. The longer I've done guiding for steelhead, the less I think bulk is important. just a tiny bit. All right, clip that off, get it out of the way. That's all the bunny strip we're gonna need for this fly. So simple as that so far. This is a super, super simple pattern. You can tie a bunch of them in a short time. Next step. I have a bunch of little slices, maybe an inch long a piece, of Easter basket filler. If you know Kevin Feenstra, who I've guided for 20 years, then you know he's the one who kind of popularized the Easter basket material. I don't know what it is about Easter basket material. Maybe it's a little bit of Easter magic in there, but it works really good. So I'm just going to tie this on each side as though it were a pectoral fin. I find another one here. And I kind of pre-cut all these. I mean, they come in strips that are like 2 feet long. So I pre-cut them all just small, just to save time when I'm actually tying. Okay, so I've got one of those on both sides now. And if I want to cut it shorter, just cut it shorter. But I do think it makes a difference on this fly and a lot of the flies I use, just to have a little smidge of that Easter basket material in there. Okay, next step. I'm going to grab some Ripple ice fiber. Now this is red, but I've got several colors that are my faves. Red is one of them. Black is good, and UV blue, UV pearl, those are both fantastic. I'm just gonna get a little bit of it here for this one, and I'm just gonna tie this right on top. My thread is still behind the eyes. So that's just a little bit right on top. Fold the rest of it underneath and put that down. So a little bit of red underneath, a little bit of red on top. And now I'm gonna add just a little bit of flash to this one. This is the Flashabou weave. I'm a big fan of Flashabou weave. It's super fishy. This is like copper and red-ish. They make 2 different versions. One's a little lighter than the other. I think this is the lighter version. And the water's getting pretty cold at this point. We're in the low 40s. I use less and less flash as we go throughout the season. Start out with a bunch when the fish are super aggressive. As the water gets colder, use a little bit less and less. I'm gonna put this under the eye and then right over top and a couple lashes around. Cut this off so it's about the same as the tail. And that is it. That is how simple this fly is. I'm going to go back in front of the eyes now. And yes, I use a whip finish tool. I know how to do a whip finish by hand, but I like using the tool better. So if you want to judge me for that, go ahead. I'm getting old enough that I just don't care anymore. And that's kind of a freeing thing. I gotta tell you, I cared way too much about what everybody thought of everything I did when I was younger. I'm not there anymore. So that is what that fly looks like all together. And I substitute different colors of the Ripple ice fiber. I substitute different colors of the flash. I can literally tie an entire week's worth of flies in a matter of hours, and just with different color flash and different color Ripple ice fiber, and I got all the stuff covered that I want to. So that's it. I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. Ciao.